All right, I just got up a few minutes ago. Had to go to the bathroom bad, and I just barely made it to McDonald's. Woo! That was a challenge. But I'm up, still more or less in the van for a few days until things sort of straighten out. I'm trying to combine me having to keep the van with the moving that we're doing for other people. We got an ad on Craigslist. There's a possibility we're going to move something for people today, and that'll generate a little income for me and some other people. I've always done that when I had a vehicle. Before, when I had to sleep in my car, I got some good landscaping jobs, got some good snow removal jobs. So I apologize for the blurriness of this, but for some reason I can't adjust it, but I'm going to still talk. This is not what I'm going to talk about. What I want to talk about is something that really kind of got to me this morning while I was driving, and that was a preacher, and he was on, it's Sunday morning, and he was on telling his congregation that you need to teach your children to be rich. Train up your children to be rich. And I thought he was going to say rich in spirit, because there's a lot of people that are rich according to the world's idea of being rich, but aren't rich with God, lacking the fruits of the Spirit. That's what you want to be rich in. You don't want to train your child to think that they have to be rich, to think that they have to be a business person in order to survive. Now, is there merit in being a business person? Of course, if that's your calling. But not everyone's called to be a business person. Now, do you need to have business acumen to get through and achieve some of your goals? Of course. So when you teach a message like that, it has to be in perspective. Please do not tell a child that that child has to be rich in order to be successful. It takes a lot to be rich. And a child pursuing that type of dream may bypass or overlook some of the fundamentals needed to become successful. You don't have to be rich to be successful. So, the Bible says, so I'm curious if this is coming from a preacher. The Bible says, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I was growing up, I thought it was like a sewing needle. I was like, wow, that rich man is just lost. Well, it's going to be difficult. Because we're talking about, from my understanding, you check me out, from my understanding, it's a huge cactus plant in the desert, that there is a small opening, and a camel has to really, really wrangle, twist and, contort his body in order to get through that particular passage. And so it sort of, the metaphor was comparing that to, that camels struggle getting through that particular passage of a cactus plant. But you don't want your path to heaven to be affected by your money. So being rich in spirit should be your goal. Being rich in spirit should be your goal. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. So you need to seek patience, long suffering. And, sometimes, and I'm not saying you've got to put up with a lot of crap on your job, because I've had to, and growing up, I've had to as I worked over my career from two different jobs. A lot of people are talking about the Black Power financial movement. I've had to take crap from black people and white people. I've been in both situations. But you have to be empowered. Stay rooted in the word, as people, whatever you need to do to get through that situation. To get through that situation, use all the tools, the spiritual tools in your disposal to get through the situation, and then make plans to move on to a situation that's going to be more accommodating to your needs. The workplace isn't going to be perfect, but very often, I don't want people, especially kids, to get the message that you don't need to maybe work at McDonald's for a couple years, that you don't need to do X, Y, and Z, that you don't need to intern. Those are the foundations that you're going to need to even become a business person. What kids need to learn is to follow their own passion. Follow their passion, because their passion is their calling. Timothy's mentor said, forsake not the gift within you. So if you feel that something is your calling, you don't want to neglect that by giving way to another job. Okay, say you somehow got into, we'll say computer science. That's pretty popular. But you want to be an artist. And maybe that job is paying the bills right now, because you got to have a job to pay the bills in order to dream. And I could go on in that. And I think I may talk a little bit more, because this is so significant in building financial wealth, because I'm not against building financial wealth, and I don't want this message to be about that. But you don't put riches first. You don't tell a child, you got to be rich. You got to be rich in order to... No. Because they'll get things all out of perspective, and they'll think, well, I don't have to do this. I want to be rich. Well, there's a path to being rich. There's a path to being financially sustainable. And so it looks like I'm just starting a new section in my talk, and I think I will talk about how to gain financial success. So this is my little talk for today, and I hope you will go ahead and subscribe to me if you like what I hear. If you like what you hear, I like what I hear. Okay, so it's too early for me to try to make sense out of that. But and subscribe, and also when I preach, I am going to take up a love offering. So if you like what you hear, then go ahead below and drop in some sort of love offering, just like you would in a plate when you hear the word. I think that's necessary. So I will talk to you soon. And once again, this has been Let's Talk, but I'm also, this is my sermon. Not on the Mount, but it's my sermon. Talk to you soon. Peace.